Hello, and this is Horror with Marchese and Buller. This is the Monday episode, and we're going to talk about staying... Thank you, Gary. We're going to talk about staying stagnant, being comfortable with where you are and not moving on. It could be a problem. You get people who, they get a job and they're very comfortable with their job. They're making a certain amount of money and they just feel that that's it. That's all that they're going to do with their life. Yet there's a lot more out there. But with what I've noticed on Twitter, and we're just talking about pretty much ourselves and how we perceive things. So we're not talking about anybody in particular here. But what I've noticed and what I felt at one point was I was being stagnant. I was getting comfortable with my presence on Twitter, and I should have been continuing to write, which I am. I have been studying things and writing new stories to submit out to places, going to higher targets, you can say. But some people, they want to stay comfortable in their comfort zone, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's talk about that, because there was a point where that person or whoever did want to do something higher than what they are. They wanted to go and sell novels. They wanted to be a novelist. They wanted to sit at home and write and possibly go around and do book signings and such. What changed their mind? Why did they stop wanting to go for the stars?
I think you just, as you mentioned before, I think you hit a comfort zone sometimes. Sometimes you're limited by the number of working hours you've got and you can't invest as much time into it as you'd like to. And that sort of holds you back a little bit, as can children, as we've discussed before.
Yeah.
But sometimes, I say, you're just within a comfort zone. I think I'm kind of at that stage at the moment where I'm in a comfort zone writing short stories. I'm happy at churning out 1 or 2 stories a month and just getting them out there and going through the whole process of periodically updating my submission spreadsheet and making sure I send rejected stories back out there again. I mean, really what I should be doing is trying to write a novella or working on a novel and trying something much bigger, but I'm not. Same way that, you know, I'm not particularly interested at the moment in sort of going to conventions and stuff and selling my own stuff, though I know a lot of writers have had success with that. I believe Krista Carmen, I believe she's had stalls where she sold copies of her book and copies of the magazines that she's featured in.
Conventions, they can be good for like making connections, you know.
Like networking.
Yeah, you can network and make some great connections there. I mean, is that necessary?
I think writing is a solo sport, something that you need to do alone, and you need to sort of push yourself alone in the same way that writers don't like to share ideas and they don't like to, you know, heaven forbid you sort of tell someone the plot of a story you're working on in case they plagiarize it, you know. We're very strange and sort of singular people, but, you know, operating in stagnation like that away from everyone else, it's not always a good thing. I think you have to set targets to get out of it.
Yeah.
I think you have to have an idea. Like I said that if I got a semi-pro or a pro sale on a short story, then I would write a novella. And I've not even started thinking about a novella yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, you get down to the point where you have realizations happening where you're like, I have the job, I have the kids, I have all these things I have to take care of. How am I ever going to get this done? You know, how am I going to... So I think that also comes into play. Yeah,
absolutely. And it sort of mingles if you're sort of, I suppose if you're like a part-time writer like I am and like you are, you know, operating at approximately like a semi-professional level. You also have your ambitions for your day job as well. You know, the day job is a job that you actually have. You know, your sensibilities suggest that you concentrate on your day job. You know, writing, you know, particularly for me at the moment, is something that if I really needed to, I could stop doing. I wouldn't like it, I'd be really unhappy, but I could kind of just stop doing it and it wouldn't affect my life. In fact, I just have more time to myself, you know?
Yeah.
You have to concentrate on your day job. But yeah, like your day job, it helps to set yourself targets, I think.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, and this is what we want to do. Like, eventually, at some point, you know, this is what our goals were, to become writers, to do this. There's always a way of doing anything you want, right? So you can still have the fun and everything else, and once you get used to writing at a certain level or a certain pace, and you're better at editing and such like that, you will have more time for other things. in the beginning you're going to be learning. It's always a learning process.
I think the more it is the old adage: the more that you do something, the better you get at it. That's but it can also be used as an excuse.
Yeah,
you know, I'm just doing the same thing. But it's funny actually. This past week, I've learned a couple of things about like the art of writing, just from sort of things I've read and things I've picked up on social media and stuff. And they're tools, as you might call them, like Stephen King once said, you know, tools that you sort of add to your toolbox. And so I found that there's certain words you can sort of delete out of a story and it makes no difference. You know, they're just like lazy words. Yeah, I've discovered a few of them. In fact, I was going to email you actually the other day and send you a link with like these words that you can just get rid of.
Yeah.
And another thing is I found a website called I think it's called Repetition. If you Google repetition detector or repetition finder, there's a website where you can copy and paste your story into a text box, and it picks out words that are close together that are repeated.
Yeah.
And that story I sent to you to have a Lucille of the other day, I've since edited that, and there's a shed load of words, and you don't even notice when you're reading it, you know, that you can just delete. And they highlight in orange the ones that are close together that are repeated, and they highlight in blue the ones that are slightly further apart but still have a bit of an echo about them. So say you use the same words 3 or 4 times in a paragraph, it shows you in blue, you know, that you've got these words. And then at the very bottom of the page it summarises words that you use most in that story. So I think I used the word with about 38 times in the story, and it was ridiculous. And I was like, oh my God, 38 times. Yeah. And I went through it, and it's amazing how sort of trying to remove that word forces you to be more creative in your sentence structure. Mm-hmm. And it's an extra tool, and it works, you know. So this week I've just picked up those things, you know, these words you can delete. And I'm thinking to myself, why have I never noticed this before? Is this something that I'd have picked up maybe if I'd have been to one of these paid writing courses or something? No, I work at university. Should I be, you know, which opens avenues within the university for me to learn things as well?
It's interesting that you said that. I mean, Stephen King, he was talking to someone on Twitter. I noticed someone said something, and he says, "Oh, these are overused words," and then Stephen King said, sort of along the lines of, "I know these are," and then he gave like some of his. But what you're saying is like once you realize. I've seen a lot of writers who put action, like not action, descriptive. He put this down. She lifted this up. He went over here. There's other ways of saying that, which immerse the reader a lot better. Yeah. But the problem is that sometimes you do need that. You do need that. Oh, he picked it up. But it's a little lazy. Yeah. It's a little lazy because you want to see, you want to really feel it, and. Most of those times I rush over those sentences because they kind of pull me out of the story. Yeah. So I try to take them out as much as possible. I think first person, you really can't do those kind of sentences in first person because it really destroys the narrator. Because like let's say I'm the first person narrator telling you a short story, and I'm saying, yeah, so I was this and I was that, and then I lifted this and I lifted. You're saying, why is he telling me this like a story? Why isn't he just telling me the story like someone who's talking to another person? You know, so it gets a little confusing. You're like, wait, how is this person talking? Who is this person talking to? Is this a journal? How are they paraphrasing these people so accurately? Is your character in that story a writer? No? Then he shouldn't know every single thing of how to format.
But then again, you know, I've seen professional stories in professional magazines. I read one in The Dark. When was it? It was the other week. And it was a second person one. So, you know, saying you this, you that, you know, you did this. And some of it I'm thinking to myself when I'm reading it, you know, you wouldn't know that. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't know that the second person was feeling this or doing that, but it's just a style, I suppose. And I suppose if it's a good story and it works stylistically, then I suppose you've got room to. You've got a bit of playroom there.
It's just like a video game. There you go. Look at that, everybody! Come on. Oh my God!
There's the finger.
Well, at least I didn't have to edit until the ending. Jeez. No. You know, just like in a video game, where you're at a certain point and you're like, well, why can't he just climb over this bush to get to the other side? Why does he have to figure a way around it? It's just the format, you know. Sometimes that works, you know. But on that note, we will we're gonna get to the second episode on Wednesday, because this isn't Wednesday. This is Monday.
This is Monday.
Wait, you know, what are we doing in our houses?
I don't know. I mean, how do we work with the time zone?
I thought we were. I thought we were at work right now. What's going on? How is this released?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's light outside here. I mean, by you, there's no light. But if you like this,
outside.
Exactly.
There's a window. There's me reflected.
Oh Jesus! I'm gonna have to. Do I have to make that like pixelated? Oh no, you were. Oh, you weren't. Okay, you were naked.
Pixelate this.
Oh Jesus! What you heard? Please subscribe. Consider subscribing to us. You don't have to donate anything. This is free, but if you subscribe, it makes life a little easier for us because, you know.
Yeah, we want to earn some money off this. Subscribe, listen to us. If you like us, subscribe. If you don't like us, subscribe.
On that note, we'll see you.
Yeah, we want to earn some money off this. Subscribe, listen to us. If you like us, subscribe. If you don't like us, subscribe. If you want to give something to your grandmother, subscribe her to this.
Yeah.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is. It is 3 times a week, sometimes 4.
Yeah. That's
and
it.
On that note, we'll see you Wednesday. Oh my God. Pixelated.
The dog's out.
No, I already shut it off. Jesus. Alright, next episode. Oh my God. Oh boy.